second chance in the game.
Stephen Wasil from Albion College Football in Michigan, offensive coordinator. Be talking to you this time about kind of how we game plan, what our work week looks like, how we do some scripts and practice, kind of what our thought process is to be successful when it comes to actually managing a game or practice and stuff like that. So we'll go through this. The weekly breakdown, Sunday through Saturday, right? Saturday's game day, we all know that. For us at Albion, well, I've been associated with the school since 2002, and we've always played on Saturday. So no Friday games for us yet, or Thursday. But Sunday, we'll do film review and breakdown, make some playlists for Huddle. Monday, will be an off day for the players, so that's where we really hammer out we call it the defensive thumbprint, scouting report essentially. Tuesday and Wednesday will be a little heavier practice days for us. We'll concentrate third downs on Tuesday. We'll concentrate red zone on Wednesday, and then you see the breakdowns there. We'll talk about we kind of have to work a week ahead for our opponents. So that would be breakdown of the next game's opponents. Thursday, we kind of do a little bit of everything, third down, red zone situation, special teams, all that. We'll go into more detail. Friday with Fast Friday and the call sheet, and then like I said, Saturday is our game day, excuse me. So Sunday, right, so film review. We just got done playing a game on Saturday. We come in Sunday, watch it as a coaching staff. Then we get our players in, and obviously we're going to point out the good, point out the mistakes, and kind of move on after that, right? And obviously everybody's going to have like a game plan, maybe some new tweaks or plays. To me, you go over those a little bit, but we need to be really, really good at our base stuff. If you got a base red zone package and you used it in that game, and you know you're going to use it in some form or fashion later in the season, we'll hammer out the film on that, or your base plays, right? Whatever you see between the 20s being run, which is a majority of your plays, hammer that stuff in the film, right? Like if you ran a trick play that you're never going to run again and you ran it that once, maybe watch it real quick, but is it worth spending time on with the kids, right? So what's going to make you better for the next week? What needs to be corrected for the next week? What was great about this week that we need to carry over to next week is kind of how I think of it. And on Sunday, we will break down, we usually break down 3 games of our opponents. We usually watch like 5 of them. So the third game we have to break down Sunday morning before the players come in, which would be our opponent's game from yesterday, Saturday, which would be our opponent for the next Saturday. So games 1 and 2 would be broken down like we saw Wednesday, Thursday of the following week. Playlist groupings, right? So we do all defensive snaps. We'll do first and second down stuff, all the third downs, red zones, different situations. I love the personnel formations one. For us, I like to see what teams, how they like to play different personnels. That can help for us sometimes narrow down how they actually game plan those things, right? They might have like one way that they do it. So now it's like, hey, if we get in this, we're for sure with this personnel group and getting this. So this is us cutting up film, right? And Coach Rundle actually tells a good story. He's a guy I played for. He got me the job here at Albion to coach quarterbacks in 2013. He retired after this season. And, can Huddle get faster? How do we cut up film quicker? How do we do all that stuff? And he tells a story because he's, 63 or 64 now. They legit would take the spool of film. He would go through, look for 3rd and 1. He would cut it with scissors, have to tape it to the wall, and then he'd go find the next 3rd one, cut it, tape it underneath that. Then they'd have to tape that together and put it back on a spool. So they legit had to cut film. And when I complain about doing this in 20 minutes, he's like, it took us 4 hours to get 3rd downs done. So Huddle's been a great thing for us. I'm sure a lot of you guys are using it, and that's kind of how we use it with the playlists and the groupings and stuff like that. So Monday, like I said, off day for the players. So we're going to watch the playlists, and we're going to go through and kind of hammer those out. first and second down, you can get a pretty good idea of what their coverages are and what their fronts are. Start to get their defensive thumbprint a little bit. Pressures, if they like to go field or boundary, you kind of just keep notes as you're going through and watching it again. And then you're going to create the game plan, and we're going to get to all this stuff. What your base plays for that week are, your personnel groups, your situational calls, third down, red zone, backed up, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we'll kind of hammer out on Monday. And in the morning, we like to watch first and second down is probably going to be 80% of the game, right? You're going to play 80% of the game on first and second down between the 20s. So that's important to keep snapping the football, what their base looks are going to be. They obviously know you're going to call your base plays during that time. Personnel and formations, what's going to be good against this next opponent. And third downs, right? We want to snap the ball a lot. We want to snap it fast. So we need to pick up third downs in order to call more plays and get back to first or second down. So that's a big one for us in order to keep the plays going. So we want to make sure we know, hey, 3rd and 4 to 6, whatever, 3rd and 3 to 7, whatever your range is, they like to blitz. They like to play cover 0. Well, that's great to know, so we can call play to beat cover 0 or get after it in the run game. So red zone, once the field starts to shrink, you got to have a plan for what you're doing there. We're looking to gather information during this morning session. We're looking to kind of put together some thoughts, and loosely as a staff, as we watch it, we kind of throw around ideas, jot them down on the board. We don't really hammer anything out yet. We just want to get them down on paper and loosely have an idea of what's going on. And then once we get that kind of figured out and all broken down, the defensive thumbprint or scouting report, what kind of front are they, what kind of coverage, post safety, split safety, are they man team, and high pressure or low pressure. So this would be actually something we give our kids, this gold screen base defensive scheme, thumbprint. We broke down, 3 games. We watched 5. We felt like the 3 games were fine. They had 203 snaps. They're a 4-2, cover 4, and cover 1 team, right? So why is that big? Hey, I'd say when it's 2 high, they're playing cover 4. I'd say when it's 1 high, it's going to be cover 1 and not zone or cover 3 or something like that. And then just if there's a weird anomaly, right? So the anomaly is against this one specific team, they had 14 snaps of the 3-3 odd stack, we called it, and they didn't do that against any of the other opponents that we watched. So that to me is, hey, maybe it's something that they're going to come up with a wrinkle for us, just be on alert, fellas. And then we would call them a high pressure team, 50%, 60%, 70%. Yeah, they bring it quite a bit. That probably means they're bringing it on more than just third down and red zones. So we have to have a plan with our routes and protections if we're passing the ball on first or second down for pressure. So they're not just going to sit back and first and second down and wait for us. The front breakdown, this kind of be the O-line and running backs guys. They'll work on the front. And again, our guy likes to do it, and whatever works for you. If we're in a 2-by-2 formation and the running backs set to the boundary or set to the field, how do they line up to that? If it's 3-by-1, right, we have a better determination of the strength. So is the running back set up to the strength of the 3-by-1 or to the weak side? Same thing with tight end or H-back, or if you put in an extra offensive lineman, how are they lining up to the running back? We want to know. That's an easier way for us to determine how they're lining up is to the running back more so than anything. So he'll go through all that, and this is what we share out with our kids again. Pressures, 73 5-man pressures out of 200 snaps. To us, that's quite a bit. And then you add in another 28 6-man pressures. So like I said, about a little over 50%. This team likes to blitz. Down and distance pressures, again, how you got to find something to kind of give you an edge, right? So let's say we go 3 yards on first down and we're in 2nd and 7. Well, if you look down there, 2nd and 4 to 6, whatever, we get 5 yards. Well, they're gonna blitz us on 2nd and 5 because they want us to be back in 3rd and 10. So what's our plan on 2nd and 5? That might be something that's on my call sheet to say, hey, it's 2nd and 5, we can't just call this because they might be bringing a blitz, or this is their favorite blitz on that down and distance. Red zone, same thing, just kind of giving the guys general information, coverage breakdown, 88 snaps a one high, and 65 of those 88 snaps was cover one. So, hey, this week, 3rd and 1 high, just treat it like it's man, and let's work from there. We don't want to overcomplicate things. They still know the difference between zone and man, obviously for us, but let's just focus on beating man, because that's what they're doing a majority of the time when they're 1 high. I love the formation breakdown for me. I think it helps the quarterbacks, receivers a little bit for their route adjustments, so they'll pay attention to some of this stuff and the coverages. The receivers don't really pay attention when I talk about the fronts, so I have to kind of snap them back into action once we get to the coverage side of things. But obviously the QBs need the fronts. And then situational breakdown, again, this is all stuff. It helps us kind of know what's going on through the week. We share it out to our kids so they have an idea, and then it lets us kind of narrow in on what we need to do. Monday afternoon, right, we just created the defensive thumbprint, the defensive game plan. Monday afternoon, we'll create the game plan of our base plays, which the base plays to us, those should be similar week in and week out, right? Like, we're not going to go from 2 weeks of inside zone and then this next week, like, hey, we have to be a counter team. That's not going to work for us. We're not going to be successful at it. So those should be real similar week to week as far as your base plays, schemes, thought processes, and who you are. What is your identity, right? We're inside zone RPO team, so we're not going to be a too tight counter team the next week, like I talked about. Like, we know what their base defense is. They know what our base offense is. You know what we're going to run. We know what you're going to run. We're going to find out who can execute better. So that's the base plays. One thing we will change is what personnel groups give us the best advantage to be successful. What 11 guys do we need on the field? Are their safeties and linebackers slow? Well, let's spread them out and maybe put 2 slot receivers and not even a flex out tight end on the field, and have the 2 slot receivers running up and down the middle of the field. Do they have small corners? Maybe we'll pack their box, get more guys around the box, run a little bit more 11 or 20 personnel, so their small corners have to deal with our outside receivers without as much help if we compress the box a little bit. So those will be the things we change more so than anything, is what personnel should we get on the field, what 11 give us the best advantage to win. They had a knifing 3-4, 3-2 team where they want to blitz and twist all their defensive linemen and stuff. Maybe we need an extra gap that they have to defend and become a little bit more base. And then obviously for the situational calls, 3rd down, red zone, when does their defensive thumbprint change, right? Like, their coach has, I'm a 2 high cover 3 team. When is he going to change his defensive thumbprint? When is he going to switch from, hey, 3rd and 7 to 10, I'm the same. 3rd and 1 to 3, I'm 0 blitz, all out blitz. You're not getting this 1st down. When does his red zone start? As soon as you cross the 50? Does he hate when teams cross the 50 and now he's going to heat you up and play man? Or is he like, okay, I'll keep buying time, it's going to get harder as they go, and I'm not going to change my defensive thumbprint until the 10-yard line, and then I become a 0 blitz team, or I become a 2-man, whatever it is down there. So that's what you have to identify, so hey, when we get to this area of the field, this is when we have to kind of start thinking differently because they're thinking differently. And then here's kind of the game plan, right? So we talked about the rule of 4. We got a lot of carryover stuff usually. And this is kind of, we'll share this out to our kids, right? This is what they want to see. They want to know what we're running for the week, what we're doing in the red zone and all that stuff. We'll have a section where, hey, we're only, for the RPO concepts, top right there, 1st level screens. Well, maybe it's only 1 screen that we're running because of the way their secondary plays, and this is the only way we're going to do it. So less things we have to work on, right? We're just doing it this one way. So we kind of try and narrow stuff down like that. The protections you want, is this a team, maybe you're not doing a lot of play action protection because they blitz, so maybe it's just screw it, maybe our quarterback's just going to drop back every time. So those are the things that we try and figure out when we build the game plan, using our base plays, using our base protections and all that stuff. Third downs and red zone, right? So we talked about 80% of the game is played on first and second down and is played between the 20s. So to me, right, like let's say you did really good on third down. Third down percentage, let's say it's just over 50%, whatever, right? So let's go 8 of 14. So you had 14 snaps out of 80 that were on third down. So to me, you don't need a super extensive list of third down play calls, especially if you've done a good job breaking down the film and you know what to expect from the defense. So when we got this in the game plan, we'll put it in there for the players. Hey, these are the 3 third downs. These are the 3 third and 4 to 6, 7 to 10s. You can see the red zone, kind of same thing, right? Like not many teams change. The high red zone to us is like the 35 to the 50, plus 35 to the plus 49, we'll call it. Not many teams change right there. So that just the high red zone to us might just be like, hey, maybe we'll think about calling a double move here or something like that. Just whatever you think it is. So you don't need a ton of plays, right? Because you're not snapping the ball a lot from those areas. And some of your red zone and some of your third down stuff might come from your base plays. Like one of your base plays might be good against man, might be good against zone, might be good to pick up 3rd and 4 as well as a 3rd and 7. So that might be a base play that you throw in there that doesn't require that much extra time from your players and from you at practice, because you got it's a base play for you. So awesome. So after Monday, we get into practice days, and Tuesday, Wednesday for us a little bit heavier. Tuesday probably more so than anything. So that's where we'll do third down and blitz stuff, where we'll bang a little bit more. Wednesday, we'll start to taper off of the banging. So we got red zone emphasis and shot plays you can see there. But Tuesday morning, we'll watch more third down stuff as a staff. We'll watch more of their blitz stuff. So we want to know how they're blitzing, if they're blitzing to the running back, they're blitzing the field, they're blitzing the boundary, if they're blitzing only 3rd and 7 to 10, and then they're playing it a little bit safer on 1 to 6. So we'll kind of watch all that stuff and kind of figure out, okay, this is a legit third down game plan. Or maybe, hey, this play we don't really need to worry about anymore, so we might throw it out. Same thing on Wednesday, except now we're studying red zone emphasis, and if we have a shot play or a gadget or a trick play that we want to do, maybe we watch and like, hey, every time they get to every time we're at the -40, they run this blitz. I don't think they can stop this shot play if we max protect. Well, whatever it is, So that's just one of those things we'll try and watch. And Wednesday afternoon, once we get the film study done and the game practice planning, we will break down, right, the next week's opponent, their first game that we want to watch. And we try and find like opponents as far as formations and different things. Formations more so than anything. Obviously, philosophies might be different, but we want to see how they line up to formations. And we'll do that in the afternoon. This would be a practice schedule for a Tuesday or a Wednesday. We try and go about 2 hours and 10 minutes. We try and get in, get out as quick as possible. And then you can see there we got the blue periods or the scout periods, the red periods is where we're going against good versus good. So it'd be like number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. That first blue period you can see there right under individual. That would be like Tuesday, where we teach the scout team, hey, I know like our defense might be a 3-4. So, hey, this is how they play their 4 down front, and this is how we're going to need 4 D linemen and, all that kind of stuff, just so they're, when we hit the ground running for that team run versus scout period there, down just under punt return, they've already heard some things we're going to say, and it's a little bit easier to get them lined up. Because, again, we're playing with tempo, so our scout defense needs to learn how to play with tempo and line up and be successful for us. Here's a scout period, right? It's about 20 minutes, third down blitz day. So against the team scouts on third down blitz day, I kind of try and group rolls of 4. We want them to play fast. We want to play with tempo. We don't want them to get super tired. So we'll go first group, second group. We got about 24 plays there, right? Maybe 28 plays, depending on the week and how healthy we are. You kind of judge how many plays you're going to run for these different periods. But legitimately, we could get 28 plays off if we were really hustling, but we'll try and stick to 24-ish. And then you can kind of see how I do it: base run, drop back pass, tempo play. Base run, roll 3 down there. Base run, drop back pass, tempo play. Well, we also got to create the game for them, right? So 3rd and 7. You can see the first 2 rolls, 3rd and 7. We game plan for 3rd down. We figured out what we wanted to do on 3rd down. So it's 3rd and 7. So I will go to the game plan that we shared out with the kids, go to the first 3rd and 7 to 10, and put that one right there where it says call sheet. And then the 2s will get the second 3rd down call that we think is going to be good, and it'll go right in there. And if we get to a 3rd and 7 later in practice or at a different period, I'll go to the 3rd one and put it in there. So that's how I try and balance how we can work all this stuff if we need to get to it. That goes for any of the 3rd down scenarios, right? And then we just kind of label, like, we don't know when they're going to blitz. So, hey, this is when the blitz on this day is going to go. You can see over there on the right side for the defense, that would be where we'd want to put a blitz in for our guys to work on. And you got to do it against your run plays, your drop back pass plays, your tempo plays. You don't know when it's coming. Your kids got to understand that too. So it can't be like, hey, every time we call this drop back pass in practice, we're going to be able to pick it up and they're going to blitz it. Well, what if they never blitz that drop back pass and they blitz your empty protection and not your max protection? So you got to put your kids in those situations so they kind of play. They're already playing Saturday and it's Tuesday, right, or Wednesday. Here's the red zone shot period, just kind of moving around the field, right, -40 there on the field position. Now we're getting to the +49, the +30. So again, you want them to feel like they're playing Saturday, but it's Wednesday, and you're working the red zone stuff. And hey, maybe you only have one shot play that you need. So maybe some of those near the lower red zone don't need to be shot plays. You can call a low red zone play twice in a row just to work on it again against a different defense. But maybe you do have a shot play for each one of those situations where you're like, this is for sure. It's either going for a touchdown or an incompletion or something like that. So just kind of build in so you don't forget about it of where you're going to work on those different situations. 7-on-7, this would be against our defense. 8-minute period, what do we got, 12 snaps, 3rd down and blitz. We just tell our D coordinator, hey, we're doing 3rd down and blitz. So here's the script. You can see 3rd and 7, 3rd and 3. So he'll just call it whatever he's going to do on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 3, he'll do. If he wants to, on first down, an open down, he wants to blitz, like I don't know what's coming in 7-on-7. So this is a great thing for our kids because I don't even know what's coming, and it puts them in a situation where they have to think on the fly. So we just communicate with the staff to make sure we're all working the same thing, and that's good on that particular day. Thursday, Friday, like I said, Thursday's situational. We'll do all the special teams on Thursday. Obviously, we'll do them Tuesday, Wednesday, but we'll hit all of them on Thursday. And then we emphasize everything, right? We backed up. How many times in a game are you backed up inside the 10? If it's a game where they have a great punter and you're back there 3 times, good for them. If not, maybe once a game, if that. So we'll work on that. Break down game number 2 for next week's opponent. So as you can see, right, Wednesday we did game 1, Thursday's game 2, Sunday's game 3, and now the new week starts for how we're breaking those games down. And then Friday's the call sheet and Fast Friday practice. The call sheet, which we'll get into, is a never add on Friday. It's always a subtract. So if you're watching the practice film and you don't like something or your kids feel uncomfortable with it, you're never adding to it on Friday. You're only going to take something out. Like, hey, this was a real crappy 3rd down and 4 to 6 play. I'm pulling that one out, and maybe it's just, hey, on 3rd and 4 to 6, we're going to go with base play X, whatever it is, and our kids will be more comfortable trying to execute that than something that we game planned. Here's what our Thursday situation looks like. At the top there where we got blitz and coming out, we try and do their 3rd down blitzes, what the top blitzes are for each situation. So maybe 3rd and 7 to 10, they only have one blitz that they bring. Well, our guys are going to see it twice in a row. Again, those 3rd downs come straight from the call sheet onto the script, and then we'll do the backed up plays, whatever you guys want there, whatever you think's good. If you need to get a bunch of tight ends on the field, it doesn't matter to me. You want to spread them out and chuck it deep and try and get a 97-yard touchdown, then go for it. But just have a plan, and you kind of practice that. And again, 3 snaps inside the 10 doesn't happen a ton. You're hoping it's happening on the plus 10 more so than the backed up part of the 10. And then we'll talk about when we get to, you see script A there, script B, script C. Those will be our base plays out of the personnel groupings that we think are great for that week. And we will just hammer through those as fast as we can, and then obviously getting into the red zone. So Thursday for us is like hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and that's, as soon as we get done with the first 10 minutes, then we hammer all the special teams, and then we're going to hammer out, roll script A through the red zone down there. So we're just going to try and move as fast as possible when we get to a Thursday practice. Hammer all the situations for our kids. Here's a call sheet. I'd like to keep things clean and neat. I don't need a ton of information. I got the little white spot in the middle there underneath game 1 where I can make notes, or if there's something else that doesn't quite fit into how I want to get this on there, I can just write some hand stuff in there, or if they're coming out in something different during the game, that space or on the back. But you can see there the red, the green, and the purple on the left top side. Those would be our personnel groupings, right? So those would be our base plays. These are the 3 personnel groupings we need to work in the base plays. And, I got 1 through 10 there for each one of them. Might be 1 through 6, I don't know. Depends on what their defense does. If it's not a complicated defense, maybe I don't need as many plays. I can't tell you it's a week-to-week thing, but hey, if we're going 10 personnel for the first drive of the game, I am just hammering down the 10 personnel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just going right down it for what we think can be good against whatever look that defense shows us. If we get to a 3rd and 4 to 6, then I'm going to, number 1 on 3rd and 4 to 6 is a spacing route. So what form, I'm being 3-by-1, call spacing route. That's what we think is going to be good on 3rd and 4 to 6. We game plan for it. Why be shy? Why panic about what you're calling? You already know it should work, put you in a position to be successful. Then we go to 11 personnel, right? The next drive, hey, let's go to 11 personnel. They just adjusted to all the 10 personnel stuff. Let's get an 11 personnel, run our base, get after it. Now we get to 3rd and 4 to 6 again. All right, I got to get in this formation, and I want to run a 2nd level RPO because it's the number 2 thing we game plan for. So just run it because you think it's going to work. You don't have to panic about the fact that, I don't know if this is going to be the right 3rd and 4 to 6 play call. Well, if you did the work and you did everything you needed to during the week, you should have an idea, hey, if the quarterback reads it right, he's been doing it at practice, maybe he's going to throw it to the single receiver for a hitch because they're going to play press bail or whatever it is. So just call the stuff because you worked on it and you wanted it to work, right? And then you get in 2021 personnel, hammering out base plays, and you cross the 50. And when you cross the 50, you get this exact coverage, and this is what they want to do. So now I'm going to call my 2-back formation, and we're going to run double post out of it and try and get a cheap one off 2-back play action over the top for a 50-yard touchdown, right? So you scripted it, you worked on it during the week, you call it. You worked on it, and you want to know if it works or not. Well, call it. You think it's going to work, so don't be shy about what you're drawing up. And then coming out, and we do tempo play stuff, so we got the 1-word tempos and the 2-word tempos that we like to use. during that session or during that section. If we're picking up first downs, let's keep the pedal on the metal. So that is kind of game planning, film breakdown, practice stuff, kind of how you get it all to fit together. Because again, like any offense, you can do an infinite number of things, but at the end of the day, your kids have to be good at something. They have to feel like they can be successful when you line up and do something. So making sure they know the plan, and maybe a quarterback or a lineman might come up and be like, hey, we don't like this play. Great. If you're not comfortable doing it, I'm not the one that has to execute it. I'll just take it off my call sheet, and we'll go without it. If I'm going to plan for 25 plays that can make us really successful for the game, and they don't like one of them, then I'll go into it with 24. I don't need to fill the 25. Let's just do what they're successful at. So I appreciate your time. If you want to contact me, you want to get a hold of me, colbritz.com. Email and office numbers on there. Love talking ball, love talking about this stuff and hearing what other people have to say. My email is swasil@albion.edu. Again, I appreciate your time. Looking forward to get connected with people, and have a good one.